get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wise.
Good evening, YouTube fans. Back again. And now I thought I'd do another Judd film, that being Psycho 3, the third Psycho film, directed by Anthony Perkins. Psycho 3. What can I say about Psycho 3? It's a bit of a step down from Psycho 2. And you could say technically it's sort of a remake, because there are bits where it feels shot for shot. A scene where a woman gets a throat slit and Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates comes in, bear with me, does this. Just like he did in Psycho. There's bits where he's peeping for the peephole, just like he did in Psycho. So there are bits where it does imitate Psycho. It starts off where you've got a nun, and I always remember this scene. There's no dad! All that stuff like that. Then you've got the sister trying to talk the nun down from taking her own life. Accidents happen, and she falls to her fucking death. Not the one who was suicidal, but the sister who was trying to talk her down. They did demo, she walks, and she hitchhikes. Lo and behold, she meets the guy, we all might remember the actor, the one who appeared in The Lawnmower Man. This was his first big break, and he's just trying to play a bit of a cheap in this, as well as a bit of a pervert. Now, I do know most of the Psychos did have a bit of sexual innuendo in every one, whether it be a tacit original to Psycho 2. But this one, I think, had to be the seediest out of all the Psychos. Think about it. There was a lot of sex, a lot of nudity, and a lot of sexual violence. But with this one, I would say it is more of a slasher film than the other Psycho films. Because at this point, you knew who the killer was. It was Anthony fucking Perkins. Now, there are bits I do admit it's a step down with Anthony Perkins as well. His acting does seem a bit off, but in all fairness, this was the same there when Anthony Perkins, may he rest in peace, discovered he was HIV positive. Yeah, he was HIV positive. This was when Anthony Perkins discovered he was HIV positive, which is kind of a sad really. They lost a really good actor, who, as we know, sadly passed away in the early 90s. May he rest. So I'm sorry if I was an actor and I found out that I was HIV positive, soon to become AIDS. I think it's safe to say my acting would probably be fucking off. But he still delivers a good performance here and there, even though his acting is a bit off. And I do actually like the guy who is a scumbag. I love the scene where he's making out with his dude, who's a bit of a slapper, and they bang at it and he says, "What's the tatar?" All the way through the fucking film, he says that line, "What's the fucking tatar?" Norman Bates whacks the fucker on the head, and even then it's, "What's the tatar?" I'll give you the fucking tatar. Boom, boom, and he whacks the fucker. It's like a funny scene. And there are some pretty good gruesome deaths. Again, just like Psycho 2, it was slightly timmed when it come out on UK TV. A little bit where the dude gets a throat slit, which I mentioned. There's a little bit of an extra where he stabs it in the gut. Wasn't shown on TV. But I'm sure now, over the days, and the way things have become more open, you probably now see it in its total uncut form. That being Psycho 3. And there are bits where I feel that Anthony Perkins must have seen Daros Didaros. I can memorise his fucking name. Because I love the scene where he mixes colour with G and red and different types of topical colours. The director, if I can pronounce his fucking name, Daros Didaros, I can pronounce his name, his Italian name, is a director. He's a director who directed films, let's say, like Deep Red. He directed the original 77 Suspiria, which a lot of people remember. A classic, Suspiria. He directed a lot of films, whether it be The Opera, Giusto Bay, which was a video nasty. Directed a lot of films, and he does kind of make his films very stylish and very stylised. And in Psycho 3, I can definitely see it is a very stylish and a very slick film. It's definitely slick and it's definitely stylish. There's just little bits here and there, like we know who the killer's going to be. He does have a few good death scenes, though. Like I say, the one who's based a bit of a slapper. Just gets stabbed. A lot more bloodier than the famous shower scene. And I do love the scene where she falls to her death. You hear the phone call. 991, can we help you? Can we get your call? A little bit too late, she's bound fucking bread. Like I say, you got this guy, he's a bit of a pervert, starts getting the nun's knickers. And you do get a love scene between Norman Bates and the nun. He aims to kill the poor woman, but he notices she tries to take her life again by slitting her wrists, and Norman Bates does the decent thing. Again, it does like it did in Psycho 2, it doesn't make you feel sorry for Norman Bates, but it just fits a few fuck-ups. Like the woman who claims to be Norman Bates' mum, another one who won in the Taffer. Turns out she was a woman who is insane. You do get a reporter who's a bit of a fucking bitch. And when you think about it, she tossed it on by nosing around and trying to get into Norman Bates. I don't mean in a sexual way. She fucks with him and fucked with him until Norman has enough and he aims to kill her. But in many ways it gets his sanity. And sad to say, Norman Bates gets arrested by a sheriff. Now I've forgotten to say this, but the sheriff was the same actor that played the sheriff in Psycho 2. Been in a lot of films, they always played the sheriff in a lot of TV shows and a lot of films. And in this, he really does play a really good role in it. You know, he plays the typical sheriff. Again, it's not a bad film. I do think it's a step down from number 2. Has a lot of pacing issues. And if you're going into it a lot more for sets, blood and gore, you're definitely going to get it in this one, because that's mostly what it is. But for a directing role for Anthony Perkins, he does deliver. Does do it some justice. It's beautifully shot. You've got beautiful colours, which reminds me of the director, Dario De Arroz, if I can pronounce his fucking name. The director, I mean. And they do have a love letter to Alfred Hitchcock at the end of the film. Again, it has a different theme tune. A little bit cheaper. Most Psycho films are a little different this. They always have a different theme tune. Psycho 2 had the famous piano note. Had a beautiful bit of theme, and this has like a cheapy theme to it. You got one guy who does the blackmail Norman Bates. And that's the scene where I said, wax him on the tatar. What's the tatar? Fuck you tatar. Bung. But I don't know, Psycho 3, even though I do feel it's a step down from Psycho 2, it's not a bad one. I think it's the seediest out of the Psycho films. It does deliver a lot of nudity, a lot of sets, and a lot of violence. It didn't live up to its rating of an 18. And I do remember the days of renting it on video. You know, the good old days when you were underage. So, it's not a bad film. I can see why Anthony Perkins' acting was off. And the nun does get killed by accidental reasons. That makes you feel again sorry for Anthony Perkins' character. That being Norman Bates. Now, as we know, Psycho 3 originally was going to be the last one. But I think they fixed the errors when they did Psycho 4, which I might talk about one day around the road. To be honest, I was never a lover of Psycho 4. But to be honest, after seeing that fucking horrible remake, which I think is a fucking piece of shit, I learned to respect Psycho 4, and I look at it being more of a prequel than a sequel. But Psycho 3, what can I rate it? It's not day, and it's a step down from number 2, but still not a bad film, and Anthony Perkins did do a very well done directing job, as well as stars the role. And it's sort of sad really that he lost his life. I'd have loved to see what else he would have done. But as a take tribute to Anthony Perkins, why not? A 10-star rating. Because Anthony Perkins as an actor and as a director, I think he still did a top-notch job for Psycho 3. So other than that, I'll do other tests and other reviews and maybe do other rants on the way. Into then, I'm gonna murder a bear. See you laters.